I remember being a good guy once upon a time ago. Back when I would do all the nicest things in the world and I would wonder why the girls wouldn't like me. I'd be jealous of the jock. I'd bring flowers. Shit, you would have caught me breakdancing in the rain because I broke my heart. It was a wild, wild time. But as my heart broke over and over again, none of the girls would like me. I would never get the attention I wanted. I started to see that, yo, this nice guy shit ain't really working out. And I'm glad that it didn't. Obsession introduces us to our main character, Bear, who was the nice guy that got what he wanted. We're gonna be covering full spoilers in this video, and you're gonna see that although Bear may not be the monster in this movie, he definitely is the most dangerous. I'm a college counselor who works with nice guys, fuck boys, and nice guys. Let's be clear up front. It is important for young men to be respectful, to be generous, to be strong in their communities, and to be genuinely nice people. I don't want to discourage any young man here that is doing their due diligence and being a good person in society, but you're not sure if you're a nice guy. There's 3 boxes that you check. Number 1, intent. If you do things for other people or for a woman that you're interested in with the thought in your mind that you're going to get something in return, you are not doing it out of a genuine place. You are doing it because you are feeling like you're going to be entitled to some reciprocation of love, affection, etc. Number 2, entitlement. Once you have done the action or activity or helped the person with whatever it is that they need, if you feel like you deserve something, oh, I bought you flowers when we were in 6th grade. And because you did that for somebody years ago, you feel like they owe you something. You are far beyond the line of nice guy. This last one comes from my experience, not only with myself, but with my students. Number 3, courage. As a genuine person, as a genuine man, do you have the courage to say no to yourself? Do you have the courage to say no to somebody who's clearly in a bad situation? Do you have the courage to step up and let people know how you feel despite however they might feel? Because that fear of rejection, it's going to be on your chest, but are you willing to stand against it and make a difference? Bear started just like all of us, a young man who was infatuated with a beautiful young woman who happened to be there when his dark times. We find out in the film that Nikki was the first person that called him when his grandmother passed away. You might be like Bear at this point in the movie where he doesn't really have, you know, somebody to relate to, somebody to come home to, somebody that he can grieve all this pain with. He has some of his friends, but in this situation, it could leave you wanting more. It can leave you wanting somebody that really cares about you, somebody that would love you despite all of your flaws. And when you're in a vulnerable situation like that, the last thing that you want to do is hurt or upset somebody that you care about. So in this situation, Bear is on the phone with Nikki, and while they're talking on the phone, she drops her necklace down the sink. She was bummed out by it, but she didn't blame him for it, and she let it go. But Bear, as the nice guy that he was, at this moment understood that he had some fault in that situation and was like, yo, let me go get her a necklace because it's my fault that it fell down the drain. Nothing wrong here. He pulls up to the gift shop to go buy her another necklace, and that's when he finds the One Wish Willow. At this point, he thought it was a scam. And let's keep it a milli. You would have thought it was a scam too. Me too. He buys it as a gift for Nikki and then heads to the bar with his homie. We'll be talking about Ian in another video. After leaving the bar, Bear gives Nikki a drive home. And this is where he had the moment to beat the nice guy allegation. On the drive, he's showing Nikki that he's invested in her life as a genuine good guy would be. He knows she wants to write a book. He knows that she wants to leave. He knows that she wants to live a separate life, and he wants to support that. And if his intentions would have stayed there, then we wouldn't have this movie and we wouldn't have the nice guy syndrome. Because at that moment, it was about Nikki, not Bear. But as soon as they get to the front of her crib and he throws that car into park, Bear finally has that moment where he can go and tell this beautiful woman that he loves her, that he wants to see a future with her, and that he cares about her. But like nice guys, which I once was, we're too scared of the moment. We are too scared to take that plunge because we fear rejection, because we have so little. At least we perceive that we have so little. And what's valuable to us is to still have people who care about us, the people that we care about to care about us. When you break that mold and try to take one step further, you're so scared of how things can turn out that you step back. And you don't muster up the courage that, honestly, these women need. You can be a genuinely nice guy and make a difference in the life of these women. But you also got to be strong. You also got to be tough. You also have to protect them. You have to show them that you have courage. And when you can't even face her like a man, what lets her believe that you could face anything like a man? This is where my patience for nice guys runs out. You want all the benefits of her loving you, but you're not willing to put any of the work to get there. And that's exactly what happened with Bear. And you know where he got the bailout? She knocks on the glass and asks him, do you like me? And at that moment, she gave him the layup. He had the lane. He could have stepped up and been like, yeah, and stood on it. 10 toes, but not. He was not. And that's where he starts crossing the line from a nice guy or a genuine guy to a nice guy. At this point, I do not feel bad for him. He knows he's cooked. So he pulls out the one wish willow, snaps it, and says, yo, I wish he loved me. Then she pops up with the doo-doo-doo, knocks on the glass. At this point, I'd have been weirded out. Let me let y'all know. I'd be scared. So I would have been like, I'm a slide out of here. At this point, Evil Nikki, I don't think there's an official name. Apparently, Wish Nikki is called Freaky online, so we're going to go with Freaky. Freaky works a good game on Bear. Hits him with the, oh, my father has cancer. I just don't want to sleep alone. At this point, yeah, I get it. When they're at his crib, things start getting a little spicy. That's when we got to be like, hey, I don't know what's going on here. Shorty, she wanted you to sleep in the bed. Like, hey, look, man, you out in the car. We wasn't really on the same page, but all right, fine, whatever. Think about this objectively. You bought this random ass toy and you don't have any idea that it actually worked. Sure, she started acting a little weird, but a lot of things could happen. At this point, Bear, he's still in the decent category for me. This one scene shows us where Bear crossed the line. When Bear got the call from Ian at the restaurant, Nikki's dad don't got cancer. They don't even know what the hell she's talking about. And he approached Nikki about it, or Freaky. She was like, oh, is that going to be a problem? He was like, nah. In the next scene, we know what happens. By this point, Freaky's activities and actions already showed that she was not in her right mind and that she was not the Nikki that he knew. Some of us might be nice guys and we may not have even known until this moment, but there is always a failsafe, and that failsafe is good friends. I tell my students all the time, a person that cares about you is somebody who tells you what you don't want to hear. In Obsession, Ian did have a moment of being a good friend when he's in the car with Bear and he says, I think Nikki's going through something and I think you're taking advantage of it. This is a moment of accountability for Bear. He could have acknowledged in that moment that what he was doing was wrong. He could have stood up for it. He could have tried to make a difference, and making a phone call is not that. This became Bear's test of courage. The dude on the phone was like, oh yeah, you want to end the wish? Yeah. You just gotta, you just gotta go. If you can't check that last box of courage, but you're reaping all the benefits of everything else, then that makes you Bear. The sinister part of the movie comes in when he's like, oh yeah, Nikki's right here. You want to talk to her? And then Bear hears her screaming in the background. I got goosebumps even saying that right now. That was a moment where Bear had to see the consequences of his action, where he had to see the consequences of his selfishness, and he couldn't face it. He hung up. We saw Bear go from a genuine person over to a nice guy. And this next scene shows where he descends into straight evil. Bear and Freaky are laid up and he gets a text from Sarah like, yo, we got to link up right now. And so he's like, all right, bet. So he's about to get up and walk out. And then Nikki, real Nikki, starts speaking and whispering to Bear. And she says, hey, you got to put me down. You got to set me free. And you know what Bear's response was? Is it so terrible to be with me? Bro, I was blown away when I heard that. At this point, I thought this man was a menace. This man is a monster. He took this moment. He saw that this girl is literally feces and vomit all over herself. He knows she has no control. He's seen her snap out a few times and he still made it about him. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what made this movie amazing. This man is a criminal. But she hits him with the Uno reverse and says, Bear, I've never been with you. I'm about to do I have to put that. Everything that happened in the rest of the film after that, Bear deserved. Because he, at this moment, became the antagonist of the film. He became the monster. He was the monster of the film. In this gluttony that he had, this entitlement that he felt, the intent, that shit was long gone. But the fact that he was a coward. Nice guys, I'm talking to you. That's what happens when you don't have courage. You either die a hero, genuine person, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, like Bear. The final scene of this film was a masterclass in why being a nice guy does not get you anything. Because at the end of it, you die alone. You die in a fantasy. You die with this imagination. And as nice guys, again, I've been there. I'm not shaming nobody. As a nice guy, we live in our heads. We live in a world that we want but in that world, we avoid consequences. And consequences require courage. When you have courage to bypass consequences, that's when you can make a difference. That is where you become a man. That is where you become strong. When you understand, like, yo, shit, damn, all right, I'm going to have to take these on the chin. And that is how you start to build a genuine romantic connection with somebody. I'm going to keep it a milli. This movie was a masterpiece, and it was a masterclass on why nice guys could be some of the most dangerous people that we meet. Remember, check your intent whenever you do anything nice. If you know you want something out of this, then you need to acknowledge that. Number 2, check your entitlement. Just because you do something nice for somebody, it has to come out of the kindness of your heart. You have to be prepared to not get anything in return. And number 3, do you have the courage to say no to yourself? Do you have the courage to say yes to yourself? If you want something, to go get it and be ready to take the repercussions. If you're struggling to break this nice guy curse or you want to avoid it entirely, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. We could talk it out. We can work on some tips. If you enjoyed this analysis or just like to hear me yap, then please like and subscribe and check out this video for more. Peace.